Perfect heroes are fun to watch. They win every fight, overcome every obstacle, and make the impossible look easy. But the characters we remember most are usually not perfect. They fail, they lose, they hurt people, they get punished for their weaknesses. And somehow watching them struggle feels more human than watching a hero who never breaks. Because maybe what makes a character great isn't how strong they are, but how badly they want to keep moving forward. One that, when witnessed, is somehow blindingly mesmerizing. Why is that? Well, to understand, we first have to look at one of the most influential characters in anime history. One whose struggle shaped the kind of broken heroes we still love today. I would rather burn completely for something meaningful than live without ever truly being alive, is the thematic core for Joe Yabuki's character. It is famously depicted through the manga's bittersweet ending, which demonstrates a life lived with total conviction, but one that demands everything in return. This panel was so culturally significant that many modern anime have referenced it. But that image alone isn't solely why Ashita no Joe was inspirational. That was entirely on the journey of Joe, from a character who struggles with identity and belonging, to then becoming one who desperately wrestles between reality and purpose. The purpose that was borrowed from Rikishi. The two started as complete enemies, since both hold considerably different values in life. While Joe is fighting for today, Rikishi fights for tomorrow. Everywhere Joe Yabuki goes, he steals, beats, bullies, and scams his way through life. Basically, someone you wouldn't want to invite to a boys' night out. Yet. Rikishi, on the other hand, is disciplined and has his convictions at the forefront of how he lives his life. But what begins as hostility gradually becomes respect, with Joe's admiration for Rikishi's conviction and Rikishi's acknowledgement of Joe's unwillingness to give up. Eventually, both parties promise to one day settle the score in a real boxing match. What was supposed to be a fight that would lead to the next chapter of their rivalry ended up becoming the end of a legacy. Rikishi, before accepting this fight, had every reason not to accept Joe's challenge. Not only was he in a different weight class, he was also at the height of his career. But he did, resulting in not only a raw test of Rikishi's determination to make the fight happen, but also a fight that allowed Rikishi to burn, proving his convictions true. What makes Joe a tragic character is what comes with Rikishi's death. His trauma leaves him unable to strike opponents in the head, confronting Joe on his own meaning of purpose, drifting between guilt and hope, finding meaning in what is remaining of Rikishi's image. Burning in hope of finding answers Rikishi wasn't able to give him, eventually toward that famous ending. Joe's struggle would help establish a blueprint for many of the broken heroes who followed. Not because they all share the same pain, but the journey that shows us viewers the struggle to become. Take Guts, a tragic character who is unable to accept warmth and companionship because of a harrowing past that continues to haunt him. His journey in carrying that burden, overcoming his trauma while confronting the reality of his physical limitations. Even with all this, he kept moving forward. This is what makes broken heroes feel more. This fight for change, conflicting with your reality and well-being, carrying that cross can be seen in many more characters. And when we watch them continue, we begin to wonder whether our own wounds have to define the rest of our lives. Whether we too could be something more. Confronted with a desperate yet hopeful cry, can I too be like them? I'm sure a lot of you are aware when I mentioned the name David Goggins, the man who is able to complete marathons with a fucked up knee. Arda Cyborg Sashi, finishing a 600-kilometer marathon within 123 hours. In other words, 5 days, day and night, he kept running. Why? Why go through such extreme lengths, risking everything you've built? Is it really worth the struggle? The pain that comes with pushing yourself to your absolute limits. Is it really worth proving yourself that you are more than what you are?
Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't make you who you are. It is the rest of your story, who you choose to be. So, who are you, Panda?
Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Reaching that goal is and will always be miles and miles ahead. With each step having reality slapping you in the face, constantly telling you where you are, who you are up to this point, is enough. Which is why people, characters who persevere, determined to deny said reality from defining who they are, symbolically screaming at the top of their lungs, "I am more than what I am," will never not make a grown man cry. Seeing your insecurities, problems, and fears through the eyes of a character who is able to overcome them is tear-jerkingly inspiring. It's fascinating how anime was able to become that beacon of hope in my teenage years. And yes, I have been an anime fan since the dawn of scheduled anime screenings on Animax, when it wasn't cool to be an anime fan. I remember during my middle school years, the first day a kid asked me straight to my face, "You seem to be a person who's into anime." I was horrified. Yes, I did fit into that chubby Asian kid with glasses stereotype who likes to draw, pretty much a self-report. Nonetheless, I answered him. Anime? Nah, that's for losers. Me? You know, I like biology. Elephants, tigers. Though little did I know, in my darkest time, when life just seemed to be impossible to live through, the very thing I was ashamed of would become the thing that helped me confront my own struggles. Because behind those characters and their bravery, the people we look up to, they're all just like us. Each carrying their own burdens and struggles, showing what could have been if we, like them, had the courage to take that extra step. These characters taught me that if not for the people around you, maybe not for your loved ones, at least do it for you. The you who once believed in a better tomorrow. Hey, it's been quite a while since my last upload, and well, why is because life has been quite hectic since I just graduated from uni and is going through what most adults are doing in my position, so that's that. So this monologue is actually because of a specific character from Vinland Saga, Olmar. Now, of course, I won't go into detail why, but his character for me is quite personal because when I first watched season 2 and, well, his character came up, his realization on why he was arrogant and on why he was insecure hit me like a fucking truck. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, this video is more on me trying to convey those emotions and feelings that I had growing up since I've been watching anime for, I don't know, all my life, technically. Yeah, okay, this is already too long. Now, you guys can comment on what type of videos you want me to make. Though I already have an idea on my next topic, it wouldn't hurt to have more drafts for me to go through and, perhaps take on. Yeah. Anyways, I hope to see you soon and bye.